baby. crazy remix there. Sorry about that. I have to mute the other channel, but it happens every once in a while. Sorry about that. Kind of sounded a bit I didn't get to hear it. You got to hear it. I saw the actual music. So shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you. I was spared, right? You weren't. Sad to say. God bless everybody here. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you all for being here. I got a little water on my tie. Don't worry. It's not a stain. It's just some water. I was combing my hair. This type of material just really shows the water. Blessings on blessings to everybody out here. Let's jump on into BTC. Let's see if there's some money to be made. Heavy volatility today for Bitcoin. Big move to the downside considerably. We just went from 89.9 though back up to 90,200. Let's take a look. I think I could be a little bigger, just a wee bit bigger here. That makes sense. Okay. And blessings to everybody out here, man. These are the days to be alive. We must push every single day. We got to get motivated. And if we aren't motivated, we just got to show up. Motivation follows showing up. Just keep pushing every single day. Sometimes it feels like nothing is going. Sometimes it feels like the needle hasn't been pushed. It feels like nothing, you know? But what we do is we show up every single day, no matter what, constantly. We make it happen. We push ourselves. We go after it. And somehow, some way, something breaks, something breaches. There happens to be an opening, and we're able to take advantage of the next big move. I don't know how it happens, but it does. All I know is if I keep pushing every single day, folks, somehow, some way, I get somewhere. Some days you don't feel like you get anywhere. Some days aren't perfect. Some days you feel like you're going backwards. But you keep showing up. I remind myself the people that don't show up are the people that are going to just, they're not going to be there, man. They're going to look back and say, dang, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda. The pain of regret. I don't want to end this life looking back and say, man, I wish I could have done more. I should have worked a little harder. I could have pushed myself. You know what I'm saying? So the pain of regret is far worse than the pain of discipline. It hurts to work out every day sometimes. It's not easy to get up right when you need to, right? Start your morning super early, but I will tell you, over time, there's just a benefit to it. So anyway, Bitcoin looked bearish to me. Even on the 50-minute, I saw a head and shoulder pattern. But they spiked it out of nowhere, which would have stopped anyone out, attempting. But then right there, I guess you could have waited for confirmation of a right shoulder. And then they dumped it down. 90,001, or even the yellow, 90,080 was my target there. It looks like we bounced right off of it. Why? I just looked to the left. You can see 1, 2, 3. Kind of was a key area that we seem to have bounced off of. Even on the 1 hour, it was a little more substantial. So it looked like Bitcoin was going to dump. I was even looking for maybe even a little more sideways action on the 1 hour before the dump, but it didn't look good to me right off the bat. And then we lost the 1 minute 200 moving average, which is a go-to signal for me to short the market right there. Look, we lost the 200 on the 1 minute. You do not long, right? I long when we get above. This is my signal here, 21 above. And again, the signal, when my signal doesn't play out, then you know it's a wrap. You see? And I didn't even trade that today. I told my group I'm not trading this morning because I like my signal and my model, and I didn't see it, and I knew we were looking weak, and I could see a dump, to be honest. And then I'm not lying. This is interesting. So then I go, you know what? I might as well short. It's so whack. I said it looks horrible. I promise this is exactly what happened. So I'm looking at the market, and I say, you know what? I said, I guess I just got to short the market. I just got to take advantage. I know it's going down. It doesn't look good. And it's right here. And I'm literally about to short. And my wife comes in, I say something to her, and I see this thing, and it goes, and then I see the biggest green candle to the upside. I'm like, man, I would have stopped me out. Like I would have got stopped out. Definitely. Then it came back down, and at that point, I was just like, then they dumped it, And so let's look at the bigger picture. And we'll go from there. But right off the bat, like if I was going to see what else is going to happen, just continuation. Like it just seems like we're going to continue further to the downside and bleed out here. The daily has lost a key level. The daily's in a bear flag. I got to be honest. And once that 3-day goes back below the 200 moving average, which it is right now, I become a bear. So that's a bearish sign to me. No good. And to me, like this is your flag and you lost it. It is what it is. And that wants to go further to the downside. That's a bear flag to me. And that says it's going down to about 69,000. Just like when you start a breakout. right here. It's like people don't believe it. It's like, well, we're breaking out, you know. We're likely going to continue up the length of the pole. Like, this looks just like that. You flip it upside down. You touch the 21, you go down. You hit the 21, you go up. You hit the 21, you go up. You touch the 21, you go down. Only thing is, you know, you're hugging. There's a little curve of the 21-day moving average, kind of like this, but it's just... Anyway, so there was some hopium copium that I'm still hanging on by, but I have to be honest, like, they're either building the most insane short squeeze in the world, but the charts are telling me what they're telling me. You know, you can't, you know, and you'd be like, yeah, I was more bullish even just a couple days ago, but we're seeing, you know, they broke structure. It's that simple. I used to have my mentor, and he used to be able to flip bullish and bearish in a couple days, and I'd be like, what is he doing? I thought he was flip-flopping. I didn't understand him. He confused me when I started in the trading group. I didn't get it. But he was always seems to be right. He was always like, hey, we're likely going here, and we went there. I was like, how does my mentor know every single time where Bitcoin's going? The guy was insane. Like, he almost never missed. A couple days here and there. He even got every bull trap and bear trap. The guy was amazing. My mentor was so good, man. He was amazing. God bless him, man. He's now passed on to the next life, but I love him. I miss him. And he taught me so much. He taught me not to use my emotions. He taught me to see the charts the way they were. Every time he just told me what the charts were saying, he was correct. It was amazing. The guy was so spot on. Anyway, let's take a look at the monthly chart. Heck, the 2-month chart, the 3-month, the 6-month. I mean, that's a failed rally right there, right? And you're going to come all the way back down to 43K. This looks like on the bigger time frames, you are coming down further. I mean, very far away on the moving averages after a rally to the upside. I never really looked at the 3-week chart much, or even the 6-month chart, the 12-month chart. I mean, it's like your next support is 46,000, right? Interesting. So Sammy the Bear, man, Jack the Bear was a movie I saw, kind of shady, kind of a weird movie. Had some strange, I'm not even going to get into it, actually. Danny DeVito, I think, was in the movie, though, if I'm correct, right? Ikemucho Cloud, red kimono twist on the weekly, always signals a major leg to the downside. To be honest, to me, that's a bear flag on the weekly, suggesting we're going down to $58,000 BTC. So, I was bearish. Every time we were here, I said we could be in a bear flag, could be in a bear flag. Then we got this beautiful pump to the upside. So we just have to have this weekly candle close above resistance. It came down with the wick, but it was like, okay, maybe there's a chance here. We're just butting out, right? Like, it was still okay. And then this week has just been really dismal. Everything has been given back. It turned nasty. And it's also, people will blame the news and tariffs and stuff like this, but it does make uneasiness. People are rushing into gold again and making gold the FOMO. Weird how Bitcoin just doesn't, is not the answer. I have to be honest. People are choosing gold over Bitcoin at the present moment in time. You know what I mean? It's interesting, but it's producing, I believe it's creating a value proposition for Bitcoin that other people aren't paying attention to. So, another man's trash is another man's treasure, I always say. And so when people aren't paying attention, but the great gold rush has continued. Gold continues to rip as we suggested it would. On my macro technical analysis video, I give you every single Friday, showing you what's likely happening to gold, right? And silver, and the NASDAQ, the S&P as well. So this is looking like a short here for Bitcoin, right? I mean, and if this closes tweezer top, simple short, right? You just short the tweezer top, put the wick if you can. So, and you can even use that wick there. But I mean, that's a bigger gain too. It's a 6-to-1 if you make it all the way to the target. Even if you just get down to here, take some profits at like 78,000. But I got to be honest, I'm flipping bearish. It's starting to look bearish to me for Bitcoin. You could say, okay, well, you still got this higher low. You're digging in. Okay, that's okay. I'm with that. But that's going to close a bearish engulfing on the weekly, if we go through with it. So right now, not looking good. in my humble opinion, for the bulls. Looking great for the traders. Good volatility. Looks like we can make some money on the short. Same thing here. The 5-day touched the 21-day moving average. In my humble opinion, that's just a go-to. You know? Do I have some hopium copium? Is there a chance? There's a couple things I can show you. The hidden bullish of the monthly, which to me can get extended too. That's the other thing I want to talk about. We could get all the way down to 84, 82 as long as we don't break these lows. You're still in hidden bullish divergence. So shout out to Bitcoin Bill for tirelessly supporting the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. May God bless you. You're the man. And shout out to the beautiful 1,000 people here on the stream. That's amazing. I feel so blessed to be here with each and every one of you. Stay blessed, stay focused, stay amazing here on the Crypto Lifer Show. Welcome, you know, it's got to be it's turning into the Sam Price channel because crypto has been so, you know, but Sam Price still keeps kicking. You know what I'm saying? The Sam Price brand does not stop. We find a way to win every single day. We find a way to be happy. I transitioned to real estate this month. I made a huge chunk in a real estate gain. You know, and I actually explained it to the people that take my weekly screen share. I told them what I did with and I told them I got an amazing hit. And I'm not going to brag about it here because I don't want to do that. What I'm teaching people is, you know, how I'm using many different streams of income to create a life worth living. And I've studied so many different people that do this. You're going after those 7 streams of income. If you can create 7 strong streams of income in your life, my goodness, you will be doing something amazing. And that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do, you know. So Bitcoin falling out on let's go to the day, the 3 days. So the 5-day doesn't look amazing. Bearish to me. Could open a trade on the 5-day with a stop loss on the other side of the 21-day moving average using this point of control right here on the VRVP as we came in and got rejected by the POC for BTC. And you can see too, like rising volume as price action is, you know, I guess you could still say downtrend, but falling volume, falling price. And it's still high enough though to see we could still get a, you know, looks like the 200 moving average is calling our name here, right on that 5-day chart. And so our last resort is can we wick back above? This is it to me. Like, can you bounce off this 21 here on the 3-day? Can you get back above the 200 moving average? You know, can this turn into something type of like shoulder, head, shoulder? Is this a complex inverted head and shoulder? Are we going to make the biggest short squeeze of our lives? And in a few weeks, we're all going to say, no, you were scared. No, you were scared. No, you were scared. Because right now, I have to be honest. It's looking very, very sketchy. It's not looking like, oh, wow. You know, the probabilities to me are starting to point extremely bearish. You know, you got to look at it. I mean, there's a high, a lower low, lower high. You say, oh, but you have a mini uptrend. Here's a high, here's a low, here's a higher high. Can you make the higher low? Good time to buy BTC when the fear is heavy. Okay, we should be back in the 30s. That's good fear. And from 30 down is really, to me, a great place to be buying BTC. It produces, for me, in the long term, you know, pretty good discounts over time. If we went to 50, even if we went to 40K, it's like, you know, a little before halfway there. So, and to me, I like a span of 50% on a discount, meaning if we're at 100 and we dump down to 50 or you dump down to 30, you'd like to get between 30 and 60. Like, the bigger I keep that array, now you don't want to be too big, but the bigger I keep it, the better off, because I'm gonna be more apt to take advantage of it. You see? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Meaning if I have to get it at this price, then the odds of me buying a lot are low. But if I say, you know what, I'll get it between 80 and 50K, the odds of me acquiring a good amount of BTC are high. You see? And so by using that mental kind of trick for me, I end up, you know, being able to accumulate a good amount at the lows. And I believe it when I say it. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be the areas I'm going to accumulate, you know. Anyway, I don't know how I ended up on the 5. So anyway, let's go back in here to the 3-day chart. So the 3-day, looking bearish too as well. So it's looking to me like I'm very close to opening up a massive short here right now on the live. It just looks bearish. It doesn't look good to me. I may wait it out and do it in the trading group just to kind of show everyone what I'm doing and make them have to join the group, right? I give a lot of my stuff away right here, but this looks very bearish. And there's a lot of people that are already jumping into this short as we speak. And you know what? There could be one more right shoulder here too. See this? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. We're going to show you that on the daily now. And so, yeah, could we make a right shoulder on the daily? We might even come down a little bit more, and we might bearishly retest a right shoulder. That would be just like, you know, and you get like a 93,008 entry there on the short. So, yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. I went backwards one step. Let's go to the daily. So that's interesting to me. And it kind of, you know, that doesn't look good. This is exactly what we call a bull trap. What they'll do is, you know, you'll have a pattern. You'll have a beautiful support and resistance line. You kind of have to use the wicks here a little bit because the way it was set up was so nice. But you could even just drag it a little there and say, okay. But they broke out and they break back inside. I mean, it would be so epic if they break back in and then they rip us. I mean, technically you should, right? False move, and then make the real move. But wow. And what's confused me about this the most, I'll be honest, was how we made this beautiful Adam and Eve. We made this, I've seen this many times, and then like in my lifetime after the Adam and Eve and the flag on the right, it's almost a shoo-in for a move. So that to me 100% threw me off. I got to give it to you. But at the same time, it didn't because my strategy does say you got to come back to that 21. And that daily had ripped pretty far for the 21-day moving average. And lo and behold, you did come back to the 21, but no bounce. Like I was expecting at least a bounce. You know, fine, false move, but give us the bounce off the bottom trend line. Now that we broke the trend line so distinctly, it's like, hey, right? And this is where it's starting to get tricky because they're doing false moves constantly. They're doing false moves constantly, right? So, but the cool thing, this is the greatest thing about any strategy or any strategy that you do use. Like even here. And I even said, man, I like the trade, but I'm not going to take it until Monday night. And then, you know, luckily and then Sunday, right, there it goes. But it looked beautiful, right, with a stop right here. But even if you do that, the stop loss is minimal. You know, had they ripped up a short, you got paid, you know. The key is if you're using proper risk management and you get taken out the trade, it's okay. Deep press, you're fine. Everything's okay. If you're doing crazy stuff and being over leveraged and bugging out and like trying to take your whole account to the upside in a day, then you're going to get wrecked. You're going to lose it all. Like that's just this is the sad facts. You know what I mean? And that's why if you keep getting wrecked, it's back to demo, man. It's back to demo account. Lick your wounds. Like you're not ready yet. People can and will do this, but you gotta really. It's a constant process. This will make a man or this will crush you, or a woman out of you. It doesn't matter who you are. This will trading and specifically leverage will give you either the discipline over your life or the fact that you're out of control. And you have two questions right there. And like either you stop doing something that you're not good at until you're better at it. That's the number one thing. Or you realize that you're doing it without a plan constantly, right? And so like my motto this year, trade less, make more. Just take advantage of the market when it's giving you something very obvious. Work on a plan and a strategy. And I have one I keep giving away every day. And I actually give a few different strategies away. Okay. So let's talk about the first one, right? The last time we made a trade, we were looking for the 4 hour to make this move, right? And then I sold off early. Luckily, it ended up being a false move, right? So right now, so the daily looks like we could be making a right shoulder, and we could even bearishly retest the right shoulder. We even lost this low right here, or we're right on it actually. So there's a possible like double bottom brewing, There's a chance with a very high middle point, but that's very odd. But hey, maybe, you never know. Okay, you never know. I'm so open-minded at this point. Bitcoin has done so many things. Tomorrow, someone pays the tariffs and Denmark comes over and then that, at this point, I have to say, I'm going to say something that I don't think anybody wants to say, and even I don't want to say, and it's a bit odd, right? But it seems to me that if the United States doesn't get Greenland, which I'm not going to talk about anymore because people I found out don't want to talk about it, and I'm just going to talk about, no, I'm not going to talk about like any of opinions on it. I'm just going to bring it up. Like, this is crazy. And I don't know if I'm even, but my mind just made this assumption. You know what I'm going to say, right? Does anyone know what I'm going to say? Does anyone know what I'm going to say? Yeah. What have I learned is wait for confirmation. It may feel like you're missing the boat, but if you have conviction, wait it out 100%. If you hodl an alt that has dropped past 50%, you have another 80% to go. After that, come down to us again. That's so funny, man. Is anyone here from Greenland? Anybody here living in Greenland right now watching the show? Seriously, I would love to know. Because we love you guys, and honestly, it'd be pretty cool if you guys join the fold. You know what I mean? I'm just being funny. I'm being funny. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. No, but it's serious. I'm being honest. If there's anyone here from Greenland, someone's from Blue Land. We got a few people from Redland, and I got some Yellow Land people too. I see a few people from Purple Land, Orange Land. Orange Land is where we're all from, right? Hey. Shout out to anyone here. So I am from Greenland. So we have someone here from Greenland. We have one person here from Greenland. Baltsky 207. Everyone tell Baltsky we love him. Tell him that if he ever did want to become part of the Americans, that we would join. We would all fly over there. We really would. A bunch of lifers would fly over. We'd do the live stream with them. We really would. I would fly to Greenland. This is a promise. If we ended up getting Greenland, I promise you, and I should do it anyway. I'll do it anyway, right? But right now it's a little way. But I will fly to Greenland, Baldsky, and we'll hang out, all right? If that's okay with you. If you're okay with that. I'll do the live stream. You'll be on the live stream with me. And, yeah. You're from Bromley. Oh, man. Shout out to Crypto Weirdo, man. I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh at that. Shout out to the Greenlanders, yeah. I want to be American. Look at this. So he's from Greenland, and he wants in, okay? So we have someone from Greenland, and he desires to be a part of the bigger fold. And we want to bring you in. We want to bring you in. Come on in. Come on in. We love you. We want to see you hang. We know it's going to be amazing. Jump on in. All right. I'm from Orange Pants Land. I understood. 100% understood. Okay, so here we are for BTC. Anyway, so we're talking about the loan that was made and how if you did get hit, you don't get liquidated. You just lose a little bit. And fine, you miss out on some short money, but that's okay. You don't beat yourself up about every single move that ever happened. You start fresh every single day with a new day. Trust me, man, I've gone through so much stuff in my life, you wouldn't believe it. Days where I thought I had completely ruined my life, and I somehow made it through. I don't know how, and and I've been through some of the hardest things you could ever be through, you could ever go through, but it is what it is. All right. We love you and we appreciate you and we care about you, so we want to see you win. That's the best if you win, it's better for us and everyone in the world. You would stay in the trading group long like I did. The trading group I joined, I never left. I never left the trading group I joined, which is strange, and I don't mean to say that to be rude to anyone who's left mine, because it happens, right? I'm just, crazy, right? He's talking invasion. There would never be an invasion, man. They would buy it peacefully, and it would all be done in a very proper, peaceful way. Yeah. No invasions, man. Yeah. I'm a man of God. There's no invasions here. Let's keep, you know what I mean? We want nobody to be hurt. No. You're putting words in people's mouths. May God bless you, though. I am a man of God, so I love you. I'm from Norway, and your presidents are sick, and you must get a new president. Any normal people say this is not right. Just take another. Thank you. God bless you, man. We love you. Again, I am not him. There's nothing I can do, so I love you, and I don't really want to bring it up. So I can see the second you say the word Greenland. But here's the thing. This is the point, all right, I was going to make when I went off track here. If we don't get Greenland, it looks like Bitcoin may not pump. I just said it. Why? Why is that the case? Well, it seems like he's going to continue to raise tariffs, cause people to run into gold, okay? And create this kind of, you see what I'm saying? So, because of that, I gotta say, there's some up and down there. So my whole point is, are people going to be running into gold every single time there's more tariffs on Europe? You see what I mean? And it makes sense. So I don't want to take sides, and I'm not taking sides. I'm going to act like I'm a person of, you all know I'm a time traveler from another time and space. So I'm really from a completely different realm. So I don't have, one day I'm just going to, and you're going to say, who was the dude? He, we had a whole story and everything, and it's all going to be gone. And you're going to be like, who was he? And there's just going to be just like, what? No one's going to believe you. Like, he streamed every single day. I saw it with my own eyes, but no one will believe you, So, yeah. Exactly. So here's the idea. Okay. And again, I don't want to leave this up because I'm not saying to short it just now, but it does, to me, this looks, actually, I will leave this up because right now this looks the most likely to me. Okay. We could be making a giant double bottom on the daily. Right? There's a chance here. So you're telling me there's a chance. I mean, there is a chance. And we could be making a giant double bottom on the weekly, as we talked about yesterday or the day before for the first time. I hadn't even seen it yet, like right here. Maybe a giant double bottom off this node here at 86,000, 87K. These are viable ideas that aren't completely off the wall, that are possible. I'm not saying they're guaranteed, and I'm not saying they're happening for sure, but they're possible. Okay? That's all. That is all. That's what I'm seeing here. Then it's a Greenland. Yeah, exactly. He's on point. Whoever just said that, it's a Greenland bumping down. He's on point. Yeah. You got it. You're starting to think, or you're starting to get it. Yeah. You and me, we could have coffee today. So here's the deal. Would you long after 6 daily green candles? Then why short when 6 red candles show up? I like that. It's a great point. That's why I'm not shorting the market. This guy's got a great point. Unbelievable. You know what I mean? Again, that's why I am not shorting the market right now. Again, I'm waiting for confirmation of a green candle next to a red one on the daily. That's it. Simple stuff. 12-hour, 22, 8-hour. And so look, the 8-hour bouncing off the 200 moving average. Interesting, but the curving 21 too is bearish. My thing is this, if we do get a bounce, it looks like we may just be getting a bearish retest, which creates a right shoulder dump. So if you can't get back above 95,000, we'll say 94.5 now. I mean, I'd call it 90. Yeah, right here. 94.5, 94,005. If you can't come up and bounce, to me, we're bearish, right? Like that I wouldn't open up a monster long unless I showed signs of breaking out and retesting this area. This is now a major resistance because we busted through it. You was going to fake that it was support. Lost it so fast. Attempting to double bottom. We are attempting to double bottom off of 90K. 90K is like the stronghold. Every time we go back, that 9 turns to an 8. It gets sketchy. But look, even this is kind of turning the 21. Suggesting that we're going to get across here, which means there's a rollover. That would also be a descending triangle. You would see it as such. You see? You just you'd roll over. Understand? And that's what's looking more likely than anything else at the present moment in time. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm starting to see is the most likely scenario for Bitcoin. Hugging the 200 moving average, hugging this bounce area, which has been very strong. I mean, we hugged it. We're back here again, 90,000. I feel like the more you challenge a key area, the more you're likely to break it, okay? And so now let's take a look at the 1 hour divergences, what's happening. So a little oversold, but kind of in the middle. A little bit of a div there. You do have a swing up on the RSI. You are very oversold in the 1 hour time frame, okay? And you've got some bull div here. But again, it's the same story, morning glory. Like, are you going to get a move back to the upside here, or what's happening? So you'd have to draw this as such. If you're bullish, you're going to make some type of inverted head and shoulder, and you're going to break back to the upside. It's going to take 8 or 9 hours. Let's get real. You think you're just going to rip to the upside? You may, but that's unlikely. It's more likely if we hold this and hit shift, it's going to take you about 12 hours, somewhere between 8 and 10 hours, 8 and 12 hours, somewhere in here before you even decide to break back to the upside. By that time, I believe you're making a bear flag, or what's conveying to me on the charts is you're in more of a bear flag. You're likely ready to go further to the downside here, somewhere to about 88,800. So I'm more bearish on Bitcoin continuing further down. You could even see here until you get back above there. So like a long, I wouldn't even consider a long unless you were able to break back above 92.3. And even then, you're still in the bearish retest mode. This all is bearish to me. This whole land is bearish because you're back below the trend. You just broke a serious trend line. You flip that upside down, it's the same story. If you had broken the trend line to the upside, that was supposed to be a bear flag, So anyway, we will see what happens, but they faked and braked us. At the same time, I mean, this is a descending triangle. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, once that bounced and went sideways for a while, it looked pretty bearish too. And then there was, this kind of had head and shoulder vibes. It did have average, so... And then you lost the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame, which is a bearish sign for me. You're still below it now, right? Just like when you regained the 15-minute, that was a bullish sign for us, right? That's when I remember we took this monster long here and everyone got wrecked. All I did was trade the 21 above the 200 moving average, 15-minute clean. Same thing here. And then even here last night, the 15-minute was below the 200 on the 21. So it told you, and then you can kind of see this as shoulder head, this head. So I'm just showing you how price action really kind of defines, and then there's a descending triangle here. So the patterns really just keep speaking. It's descending triangle, head and shoulder. Really, that's how Bitcoin dumps. It makes these same exact patterns. It makes descending triangles and head and shoulders, and it makes them together. It makes them around the same time or inside and on top of each other. So they get more, you know what I mean? They come together. Meaning here, like here's a descending triangle, clear as day to me, and you can see there's a head and shoulder on top of it. There's a head and shoulder inside of it, right? It tells you the measured move is going to be a straight fall, and it usually falls straight out. Just it bounced back, retested some area, maybe like a wick back in here. Yeah, there you go, and then it was on its way further down. So I think the charts are really telling you what's going to happen. And whether you want to read them or not, it's up to you, okay? But they're conveying a message. Now, you don't have to short everything. You don't have to long everything. But you should at least be able to see what's likely happening to BTC, right? That's why stop losses are key. Hey, you're wrong. It doesn't go right. But then, boom, to the downside beautifully, right? And so there's money to be made either way. And today, this just looks, I have to say, it just looks ugly. Like, if anything, this almost looks more like it might make a, we might, I don't know, something like this. It might make a descender or something like, maybe it comes up and down in here. And then that dumps too. I see more downside for Bitcoin. It just doesn't look amazing. You got some nice bull div here, but I don't see price action responding. So this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm reading. And again, you could correct me if I'm wrong. There's fear in the market due to the tariffs. And then there's like a lot of, Russia says we got new, you know what I mean? They're amping. If you got, I spent a couple days on Instagram. the last few days just researching some stuff, and a couple of the videos I got were war videos, right, explaining. And even there were shorts too, and they're like, this is how Maduro got captured, this is the Russians have these pointed at us, this is that. And if you're spending time on social media, they're sliding in more, man. They're getting it into your head. And so the less I stay on social media, I have no idea what's happening. It's like, oh, you go outside, you play with your kids, you can go months without, but the second you jump on in, they're definitely pushing more. It's heavy. You're feeling it, you know? And they're pushing conflict everywhere, right? They're like, Taiwan, watch out, you know, what is North Korea, you know, this. And like, you know, do we take over Iran? What happened in Venezuela, right? Russians are near Greenland, like, and it seems like we're getting bombarded. You see what I'm saying? So when that happens, you know, I mean, you can't tune out completely because you got to keep an eye on what even the false narratives are narratives because they're going to affect your life, even if they're fake. Whatever. You have to, you know, the Matrix is real. So you can't let the Matrix affect you, but you still have to know when the Matrix is coming after you. You know what I mean? It's weird, right? If you know what I'm saying. So, but you just can't let it affect your subconscious vibrational energy. You're still controlling your reality, despite the fact it feels like they are. It's still not true. You're still in control of reality. You're projecting the vibrational energy that's going to happen in the next few months to you. Keep having positive thoughts. Keep believing in yourself. Keep pushing. Keep manifesting positive energy in your life, and you're going to be great. Things are going to go exactly, not as planned every time, right? But they're going to go exactly as that frequency you set before. Like if it's a high, good, high, amazing frequency, no matter what happens to you, you're going to take it in stride and be good with it. If it's a low frequency, you're going to be down and out. You're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to talk down to yourself. You can't do that, especially as a trader. If you're going to make it as a trader, we need to have constant mental support every single day. We can, we are, we can, we will, we are the best. We can, we will, we are the best. We can, we will, we are the best. We make mistakes, we're not perfect. We will learn from every mistake we made, even in trading. We lose money, we will find a way to make it back. We will find a way to learn from our mistakes. There's no failure, only feedback. We can do this, right? So look, if Bitcoin does look like it's going to bounce here, why? I mean, that's a very strong divergence. So this is what we're looking for, but this will take some time. So you want to be realistic too about your expectations of when trades plan out. This is another great thing. Why do most traders lose money? Let's go over the top 3 reasons most traders lose money. And let's just kind of break this down here with Noah. So top 3 reasons. Let's talk about the top 3 reasons most traders lose money, okay? The number 1 reason most traders lose money is they want to double their account too fast. They have $5,000 in the account, and they envision having $10,000 in the account by the end of the week. They see other people making huge trades. They see leverage. They go, wow, it just takes one trade. They set it up. They go like 2,000 for maybe 7,000, right? 3 to 1, a little maybe, they learn from someone like me. 3 to 1 looks great. They like the risk reward ratio. They get educated. And what happens is they lose the $2,000 pretty in the first trade. They're down to 3,000. They do it again, 1,000, and then the next time they go all in because now they're kind of defeated. They call it the chuck out theory. This happens. I've been a part of it. I know it happens. What happens is you start with this beautiful feeling of how great it's going to be. You get really excited. I'm going to make some money. I just joined this trading group. I've been watching this guy, the lifer, or whoever else, people I've been watching, everyone else, starts with someone online, usually, and they get excited. And they lose those first 2 trades, and they're down pretty hard. They don't want to say anything. They knew they went against the risk management of their guru, so they don't want to reach out to the guy and oh man, I messed up. How can I, they don't want to tell anyone too. It becomes like a quiet beating. You know what I mean? It becomes a solitude, a negative place of solitude. And so then you're like, and what happens is the last 1,000, you just kind of chuck in the market in the middle of the night and you just kind of like, and if it gets liquidated, it gets liquidated and you just walk away. I remember when I was losing 10, 15 years ago and I was in a trade and one day I was like, it didn't look good. And I just like went on my balcony and like looked out the window and just like knew it was going to lose and just like was like, I'm just going to keep losing here. Like insanity. I've been through things that don't make any sense in trading. So the whole point is, number one, people use is they try to turn a small, they try to double an account way too fast. What someone should say is, I have 5 in here. I'd be excited if at the end of the week I have 5,500. Like, that would be unbelievable. And be like, wow, that would be a check. You know what I mean? 5,200 check. You know what I mean? 5%, 10%. Because if you can do that consistently, you can turn the 5 to 7. When I started doing this, that was my first thing. Can I turn $5,000 to 7,000? I did it on the live stream about 4 to 5 times out of you guys, and I would even more than that. And then I would take the 2,000 and I would put it into a long-term altcoin, right? And that used to play out pretty nicely too, and even some of that. And then a lot of those plays that I did play out, I put it into gains for a living, and it went up 7x and 10x. There was we made big money here. Actually, I have to be honest. We did have an alt season as a trading group. Like in March of 2024, almost everything we looked at in 2022 and 2023 went up massively. So the number one reason is people try to double their account too fast. That's the main reason I see people losing money. Okay. Number 2, the second main reason, people are losing in trading, number 2, okay, is they're taking a lot of people's analysis as signals. They're watching a guy who does analysis, and when the guy says there's a probability of going up or down, and they say, oh, he's short, I'm going to trade the short exactly right. I'm going to do that short exactly as he panned it out, right? And at the end of the day, that's, you know what I mean? The guy's given an analysis of 2 different ideas. They watch half of it. And so what you're doing is you're basically taking pieces of analysis and deciding that it's what's going to happen and going hard. I got some people may do it to me. They may do other people. I've done it. I'm just saying, I'm going over things too that I've done. I've done every one of these. I've done every single thing that I'm telling you because I was a trader who used to just hop online, and I didn't have, I wasn't an analyst that made my own show and stuff like that, right? I went and watched everyone else's show. So I know exactly what it's like to be you as you, and I've been on both sides. I've been on this side and I've been on your side, okay? Now, the third reason why I'm seeing people lose money, and I think this is like, is, again, they don't realize how long price action takes to actually play out. So they pick to choose the 15-minute to trade, but they're not willing, all right, like I just talked about. And if you hold shift and go sideways, not text, sorry. And go sideways here, look, 7 hours. Like this could take 7 hours to give us what we're looking for. In 5 to 6 hours, we may have bounced and made a right shoulder. Or we could continue to collapse here, you see, into a bear flag that goes further down. To me, I see more downside. For Bitcoin, it seems to be bleeding out a little bit. Okay. So those are the main 3 reasons. Let's go over them one more time, right? The one reason is people try to double their account too fast. The second reason, they take pieces of analysis from around the internet and decide that's what's going to happen and are so locked in without actually having a thought of their own. And number 3, they don't understand how long price action actually takes to play out. They have an assumption in their brain how long they have to wait for a trade. But they don't really understand the real amount of patience it takes. Like, what if you made 3 trades a week on the 1 hour, and each trade took 4 to maybe 12 to 15 hours to get to the place you waited for? You took the trade, you were in the trade for 6-7 hours, you got out, and in the course of a week you made 3 of those, and they were all calculated, and you knew exactly what you were doing. Right? That's better than someone that's going in and out on the 3-minute, the 5-minute, constantly. Okay. And I have awesome models. They play out really well. But right now, we're in a period where we're in more of a downtrend than an uptrend, period. I don't care what anyone tells you. We are in a bear market, okay? I just want to make that very clear. Everyone's like, whoa, Sam, why are we in a bear market? All right? For me, and this is me, and again, you can listen to any other mentors that you want around the internet or people that, I consider each and every one of you a student of life, a student of my channel, a student of technical analysis. I want to teach you something every single day, okay? So here is look shoulder, head, and right shoulder, okay? Bullish divergence, this is what you want to see. But again, I'm open-minded to the fact that we're making another bear flag here and continuing lower. You see this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Can you extrapolate this idea? So there's a chance that we just do this too. And can you handle more than one idea in your mind? Here's the next idea when it comes to trading, right? Trading is just like chess. Why? You're sitting at the chessboard. And again, we went over this yesterday, but I like to go over again. You're sitting at the chessboard looking at the chess player. All right, here's the checkered chessboard, right? I'm going to make it real fast. And you're looking at the other guy, and he could go to this square, this square, all these different places he could go. And your mind's thinking, okay, if he moves there, I move there. Or I can bring the horse there. If he moves here, I might want to actually start moving my queen over, and I want to put this pawn up. All right? If he moves his rook in his thing, then I want to actually put the bishop over here to try to penetrate. So bang, right? And when you first start playing chess, right? You could probably have one or two of these ideas in your mind, but your mind's really, it's still looking at the board. It's still processing even the shapes of the colors and the look. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on. Okay? Now, after 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of playing chess, are you really looking at the shapes? No, seriously, when you first play chess, you look at the shape of the pawn and you actually look at it. You're like, oh, that's interesting. During the game, your mind actually might even bring up, oh, wow, look at the shape of that thing. You see what I'm saying? This happens in real life. Like, this is something that you're seeing all the time, right? So the whole point is your mind starts doing this. But now after 10 years of doing this, okay, there's so many things that you're seeing that you don't have to use your brain for anymore. It's been done for you already. And now you can think of all the different moves this guy can make, right? And now you can probably think of 10, 20, 30. So when you start, you can make 5 moves, then 10. Same thing with trading. When you first start trading, you can only really conceptualize of a few options in your mind that could possibly be the one. That's it. Nothing else makes too much sense to you. It's all kind of jumble, right? But this could be the possibility here, right? So look, I mean, so now, we can see shoulder, head, right shoulder. I know how price action can reverse its way out of this. This is the way. All right. And again, buying Bitcoin when price action is down, buying Bitcoin when people are scared, buying Bitcoin when the fear is high. That's the key. All right. For me personally, you do whatever makes you happy. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But buying Bitcoin when everyone is scared, worried, feeling fear, to me has always been the case. And I like the fear and greed index here at 32. It's a good place to be right now for BTC. All right. So you can see the macro, you can see the micro. I took you from the monthly all the way back down here, and I'm giving you the possible scenarios here for Bitcoin. So there's a strong bull div on the 1 hour time frame. That's very strong. And it's even, it's more, it's prettier on the 15 and the 30. You can see. So let's see what happens here. This suggests that we could get a bit of a bounce here for Bitcoin, and we could hold off the bears here. To me, it does suggest it's going to take a few hours to complete an inverted. And so, now you can kind of see, if this happens and plays out the way it's supposed to, and Bitcoin does break back up, it could be, it could be basically somewhere at 12 at night, 11 tonight by the time we're up here. It could even take a little longer. You see what I mean? It could be Wednesday morning at 2, 3 in the morning or 7 in the morning by the time we get anywhere there. Otherwise, this could just continue to roll over, somewhere by 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. You hit the 21, and that's going to be, a rollover. To me, I'm leaning more that we're going to roll over, but show me something. Maybe the bulls can show me something. If the bulls show me something, change my thought process today, hey, there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. So look, see how open-minded? I'd love to be overly bearish, and I'd love to be overly bullish, but I can't, No, because I'd like to pick a side, but I really can't. Trading has always made me weary of anything. I'm always like, huh. Now, it doesn't mean I don't pick a side in life. Of course, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for everything. So, yes, I stand for things. That's why. But at the end of the day, and that's why trading's tricky too. A man who stands for everything and stands for what he knows, right? And is what he is. That can make you feel like you have to be long. I got to believe in this. I'm going for how, you know what I mean? You could get wrecked with that. So that same mentality that can make you win in war and can actually get you going as a man and actually is needed can get you rocked. Because you want to stand for something. You want to be right. You're like, I'm a bull, man. I don't care. I'm going long. Have you ever heard that before? Let them liquidate me. I'm long, man. I don't care, man. This is Bitcoin, I've heard people say stuff like that. When they're so convicted in their own thoughts that, you know what I mean? It's kind of insane. One guy said that he shorted XRP or something because his ex-wife, she bought it and it dumped on him, but he shorted it anyway. Just insanity. You know what I mean? I was talking to the guy the other day. We were joking about it. He was like, I shorted it because, man, that girl pissed me off. It's so crazy, right? It's like, but how does that do you a favor? That only hurts you. It doesn't hurt her. So anyway, spread your love. As the song says, the best thing you can do in life is to spread your love, positive attitude, and energy every single day. Shout out to everybody here. The YouTube network has brought us, and all to the YouTube believers. Who still believes in Bitcoin? Who here still believes in Bitcoin? Put a 333. If you've given up on Bitcoin, put an XXX in the comment. If you still believe, put a 333. If you've given up, put a triple X. I want to see how many people have actually given up. But I don't think anyone has. This is the Crypto Lifer Show, right? None of you have given up on Bitcoin, but you never know. They've done a pretty good job of beating people down. So look, we know if we can get back above the 200 moving average, there's a chance for Bitcoin. But to me, it's making a symmetrical triangle in the 1 minute, which could go either way. So look, this on the bigger picture, this is a smaller inverted, of that, what could be that possible inverted head and shoulders, see? And it's interesting, they try to shake out the crypto lifers. They're attempting to shake us out, everyone. They're attempting to beat us down. Break up the community, get us all so down and out that we don't even show up anymore. That the whole crypto community as a whole on the internet just kind of gets obliterated. But we're just not going to let that happen. We're going to keep showing up every single day. No matter how hard it is, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how weary it looks some days. Because some days, let's be honest, it doesn't always look amazing. It doesn't, right? Look at that beautiful double bottom that broke out. So let's see what happens here. Funny double bottom right there, this boom. Never know. You never know. That was at 10:57. So look, the 1 minute just did a double bottom. Look, that played out. You get there, it hit the measured move exactly, which is crazy. So funny, right? The double bottom is supposed to break out from the neckline to where the two, those V hits, the two V sides hit, and boom. Seems like there's some buyers on the table for Bitcoin. Tom Lee and his big firm, they just keep buying more. You know what I mean? They just keep buying more. Pretty crazy, if you think about it. Bitmine staked 270 million worth of Ethereum. I mean, they keep moving, right? So now major resistance there, though, at 90,007 for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bookmap. It's got liquidity at 89,005 and all the way down to $86,000, 86,400. Shout out to Indiana, banging on them to the upside, 16-0, right? If I'm correct, 16-0, baby, winning the national championship. Sorry, I am in Florida. But hey, man, I may or may not have put a wager on Polymarket. Honestly, the odds were so high that they were going to win the game. They had a bigger team. And you could see at the very beginning, it looked like it was going to be 40-10 or something. They started plowing over them in the first couple minutes of the game. I was like, oh, this is going to be quick. But you know what? College football's not, I don't watch college football. I never have. That was like the first college football game I watched a bit of. And they fought hard, man. They did. Honestly, his run was epic because like a lot of guys never make it. That was a pretty far run. He went 4th and 5, and there was like a 10-yard run into the end zone, man. And it's like he twisted and whipped in, and usually, dude, and he got in there, man. He was like not gonna not get in the end zone. So that was pretty cool. And seeing his mom and dad watch that, I don't know, it was being a dad, I guess. They did a good job of making it heartfelt, and they sold the story to the United. They sold us, man. But Miami, it looked for a second Miami was gonna win the game. It got down to the last few minutes, man. When they throw that interception, it was tough. Yeah, they could have won the game. Miami could have won the game. You got to read that dude Carson Beck, man. He was pretty good, man. He had a chip on his shoulder, man. You seen him with the cross on his face, and he had the tats, man. I like seeing these young kids with the chip, man. They're ready to go, bro. Their whole life ahead of them. They have no idea what can happen. Those, they could be some of the most. We could be watching some of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL right now, right there. And it looks like we may have. I think you're going to see both of those guys in the NFL one day. I got a feeling. You're going to see Carson Beck and Fernando Mendoza. But we'll see. Only time will tell. You never know. Can that kind of cup and handle us out? I'll be honest, I'm more bearish than bullish for Bitcoin right now. It doesn't look amazing. You got to get back above the 200 on the 1 minute. You got to reclaim some key levels. It doesn't look amazing. All right. That was great. He's in from Miami. Yeah, Sam, I could get a reply to my super chat, please. 100% you will, man. Yeah. We'll get there, my friend. We'll get there. When I'm done blabbing about the football game, yeah, we'll get. I'm just. Let's do it right now. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. God bless you. But hey, a little reminder, a little nudge is always cool. I'm cool with it as long as it's done in a polite manner. So may God bless you. Let's take a look at the super chat and see what's going on here. So we have Bitcoin Bill, who shows up every day and sends 20 gifted memberships, which I think are like $4.99 or $3.99. It's like, that's got to be, I mean, thank you so much. That's very blessed. You don't have to do that, but you do. Have you ever looked at doing a partnership with a plumber? I think it would be really good for you. You could also do a series growing on an account. Sam, can I rejoin the Livers Paying with Crypto? Yes, you can. Email cryptolifers@gmail.com. We got you, man. I emailed y'all a couple hours ago waiting. You'll get a response. I'll make sure of it. And you'll be all set, Marco. But thank you so much for asking and sending a super chat to ask, too. Then he's like, hey, Sam, I want to join the group again. I'd like to pay a super chat to ask you. I'd like to pay 20 pounds to get in the group. I mean, that's amazing. So, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, if anything, it looks like we're going to roll over, right? Like, we're going to get tight and then continue to dump. That's why I love my strategy. If we get above the 21 of 200 and the 21 touches, then the odds are likely we could maybe long. But until then, the odds are more likely we're dumping. Okay? So, again, I'm back to my strategy now. Today, it tells me we may get my model. It says, hey, there's a chance the model's coming. The cup and handle's interesting. Like, this is supposed to explode. Watch this explode, right? Well, hold on. Watch this go like this. Boom, right? Why? It's a cup and handle. I don't understand why. All right? Ask Master Friend why we hit the 786 Fibonacci retracements and we bounce off to the upside, right? And why will people learn when we join the group? A beautiful bounce to the upside there off the 618 Fibonacci retracement. I mean, see how it plays out on the smaller time frames? We see this on the weekly and the monthly. This is what we're on the monthly right now. That's why it looks so weird that, like, anything could happen. Shrink this down here. We got it. And looks, lack of bearish momentum in the MACD. When you have a really small hill in the MACD, that's a good sign that you get some love there. Look at that. Boom, dude. It's like I'm a magician on the small time frames. Today is a treacherous day to trade. You know why I'm not trading today? Tuesday trades like Monday. I traded a lot the last 3 to 4 years, more than ever when it came to Lev. I traded Lev more than ever, every single day of my life. And I learned so much about the market. And I learned what days are hot, what days are not. All right. Look at it. The Sammy Cup. This is why they call it Sammy Cup and Handy to the upside. Anyone else who saw the cup and handle before I did? I know you guys did. Who saw the cup and handle before I did? That's discount, baby. Amen. Exactly. No premium. Accumulating stops. We could buy Grandmaster Friend. We love you. Thank you so much for teaching so many people tirelessly, helping them out, pushing risk management, saying you got to have a model, helping them see the market in a way that can actually calm them down and slow them down. May God bless you, man. And you can see every time. I mean, look at this, right? 3 white soldiers now. Insanity. And now there's a chance we could really start to get back into the groove. Can Stella get her groove back with Bitcoin? How many times have we seen his model play out? Bang. Bear market incoming. Ha, 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 ha. Interesting. Anything is possible. That's the thing. I don't know. I'll lean left and right. It's the market has been it's been testing every trader's basically ability to stay on system. It's attempting to throw me off my system. I won't. Anytime it seems like I regroup and I'm like, no, I stay on the system, man. But it's been one of, it's definitely a test of wills. Who here feels like their will's been tested the last few years more than ever? I mean, more than ever. Spiritual, financial, discipline, focus. Like every will that I've ever had the attentiveness to control has been tested. You know, you think about pain, past pains, and you can't give into those. There's pain there. Everyone has it. There's trauma. We can't just sit in our brain and spend time in that trauma. I used to do that. I used to replay the trauma. Oh my gosh. I got addicted to replaying the trauma. That can be bad news. Now you get yourself inside of a rut because you can't get out of it. You're like addicted to being in the rut. The brain, that's what I've learned about the brain. It's tricky. It'll get itself addicted to things that aren't good for it. It's really weird. So you got to be careful. One step, one moment, one day at a time, folks. All right? And look at this. I mean, nice little cup and handle. That mean we're going to rip? No, let's take, now you got to get back to that 21. Now you look at the 30-second. You want to see, did the 30-second break above the 200 moving average? It did. So now you're looking for the 30-second to play the game. I know it's not perfect. And remember, one step at a time, folks. In a situation like this, I would not long unless the 5-minute broke out above the 200 and gave me my model. That looks like that'll happen around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, between 13:50 and, somewhere there. Okay. Tested by me. Okay. We went through 3. Now, recent 4, 5, and 6 people struggle making money in trading. All right. Here it is again. Number 4, they begin the process, but they're not consistent. They join a trading group. They watch a live streamer. They take in and they say, you know what? This year is going to be different. In 2026, I'm going to do it. I'm really going to change my life. But they do it Monday night. They do it Tuesday. They do it Wednesday. But they go out drinking with the boys on Thursday night. They wake up hungover on Friday. An old girlfriend calls them again on Friday night. They make a bad decision because they're already tired from the night before. She's around for a couple days. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, they argue with her again, go through that pain, boot her out of there, or not, or she's awesome and amazing, but still distracting, Who knows? You know what I mean? I love women. I think there's like too many men bashing women. I have a twin sister, older sister, 3 daughters. I'm a women lover, man. I'm all about the women. My mom was an angel. She was the greatest friend I ever had. I think women are a gift to all of us. But anyway, this is just a story, right? I can write a story. But the point is, right? Boom. And this is a man, maybe you're a woman. Old boyfriend comes back, and he's a waste of time, all right? So we can go the same way, right? It doesn't matter. But boom. And now, like, something else happens, Car breaks down. Start complaining. Start using excuses. Car breaks down. You can still sit on a park bench with an iPad and still do a little bit of work while you're waiting for the tow truck. Like, there's always a way to get ahead. All right? Anyway, what happens is it's been 2 weeks now, and the person has completely done nothing in the trading, hasn't forgotten. And this goes on throughout the year. At the end of a 52-week period, right, which is only 25 of these 2-week periods, they've probably just completely obliterated at least 80% of them because of something that happened in their life. And they're not able to get ahead. So you're using basically all these excuses in life not to focus on trading and get ahead, or not to even, you need a focused year or 2, 3 years, really, and not just a regular year, a focused year. You can't just half do it. You got to do it on Monday night. You got to basically be very consistent with the way you're connecting dots. It's very important. Okay? Very important. Understand? Funny, remember how we used to do this cup and handle every day on the channel, right? Below the 200 moving average, remember? I didn't use the 200 like I did I think I started it about 2.5 years ago. Yeah. So that's the number 4th reason, right? People just have a really hard time being very consistent. Remember, let's get back. I forgot, but let's get back. 365 days. All right? We could cut off those last 5 days, 360 days a year, let's just say. I'm just, But my whole point was, okay, there's 36 10-day periods. Okay? 36 of them. Remember, on January 1st, I talked about this. The worst J you've ever seen, right? It's like a 5. But on January 1st, we talked about it. And I started going to the gym this year in the first 10 days. And I said, whatever you do in these next 10 days, is likely what you're going to do the following 10 days. All right? And honestly, and what you do those 10 days is what you're likely going to do for the following 20 days. And what you do for those 40 days, you're likely going to repeat for the next 40 days. And what you do those 40 days, and next repeat to 80 days and 190, and you see, right? So you understand how the next 10 days are going to change your life? It only takes 10 days to really start something new. Everyone thinks it's quicker. They make, you know what I mean? If you can stay disciplined on it. So look, today is the 20th. I just want to repeat. We're through our second 10-day period. This is crazy, right? How creepy is this? There's only 34 left. You've already taken out. Isn't that crazy? 3.6 is 10%. 10% is a lot of money. When you make 10%, people are like, that's a lot, right? Yeah. So 10% of something's pretty substantial. Agreed? I think so. And so we're already 2 of these. And about, 4 of them is, a little under 4 is 10%. I mean, I'm just saying you're already 5% through your time this year. Already. You've already lived 5% of your productive, you know what I mean? What have you done? How can you replicate that every single day to compound it into something bigger? Okay? And I'm even talking to myself. And what did I do this year? I set up a new streaming studio behind me yesterday. I spent hours reprogramming, learning, finding new ways, understanding, setting up a new process, looking for ways to look sharper, better, looking for the camera to look, better, playing with new lenses, hooking wires up, tirelessly looking at lighting, understanding export settings, just, you know what I mean? Setting up teleprompters, working with AI, like just, you know what I mean? How to maximize workflow. So 2026 is really becomes the year where I take basically the technology given to me to a better level to help my company expand. 2026 is the year that we use more, I implement more AI, and already my team doing amazing. I just want to say shout out to my whole team. There's a hackathon going on over on Weeks that we're a part of right now. If we make it to first place, we can go to Dubai. It's going to be a big deal. Shout out to my whole team. Shout out to Jamie. And I don't want to, if it's known, so I don't want to I'll ask Jamie if I can let it be known, but shout out to Jamie, man. I know you're working tirelessly on it. It's not easy. And there's pressure. I mean, or once you let it go, it goes, but still, there's pressure there, and there was a lot of work to be had to get it going. So I'm just proud of my whole team, man. Everyone works tirelessly at my trading group to make things amazing. And everyone works tirelessly at the company to make things amazing. So look at this, the cup and handle, man. It's supposed to go to the target at 91.1. So insane, right? And so there's these micro ways to make money. I teach people how to make money in the smaller time frames once they get a handle, but it doesn't mean we don't zoom out and look at the bigger picture every single day. I'm on the monthly every day, a couple times a day. Okay? So, and that's kind of the juxtaposition of trading, to look at the bigger and the smaller time frames and to be able to see it all. That's the chess move in the mind. That's what we're doing. That's what we want to figure out, really, right? Okay? So remember, number 4 is people don't realize how long it takes for things to actually play out in trading. And they think the 1 minute is like, they don't even realize you could be in a 1 minute trade for 6 hours. And people can't, once the trade doesn't play out in time, they get restless and they can't handle it. Walk away and let the trade do its thing. Go for lunch, take a bike ride. People think trading is sitting there all the time, clicking buttons. No, it's watching, setting alerts. And it's going after, you know what I mean? Making the move when you see something that you've been waiting for all day. That's not easy. And that takes like years. That process takes years to do. It's not trading that's hard. It's the waiting in between. That's the hardest part of trading that other people don't understand. I can't tell you how many times I've been at my desk I'll be watching, a mind video. I'll be reading a book at 3 times speed because there's nothing else I can do right now. I've set the trade. I'm waiting for it to go up or down, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Anything else is forcing it. Anything else I'm doing is just trying to push something that's not real. It's not happening yet. Look, already my mind sees, the algorithm portion of my brain says, that could be a head and shoulder pattern. This could be another fake rally. This is why I never take the long until the 21 crosses and touches price action, because that is confirmation to me that there's a higher probability of a move. The old me used to get in right now when we cross the 21 and deal with all this nonsense, or try to buy this bottom here. And at the same time, that was the measured move. That was the measured move, if you look at it, because all you needed was this here, and you should be getting 70%. I mean, that's it. I mean, that was the measured move. Kind of crazy, right? That's your flag, and that's you know what I mean? You wicked pretty dang close to it. So funny, right? Like, the algorithm did its thing, and it hit a point of control, too. A high-volume node right there fell off. So weird, or a high-volume node at least. And again, look at this. This is a heavy resistance at 91.2. Boom, boom, boom. Like, that's why, unless you broke above that and retested, you're basically trying to force a trade. Understand? So you can see, why isn't Sam trading right now? Because I believe Tuesday is the false move of the week whenever we don't have Monday. And because you know what? Last year, I said this, I think for like Monday, we had Monday off. And I said I wouldn't trade Tuesday, and I did it anyway. And I think I lost trades for no reason, or something didn't happen, and it was off. And then my mind said, I told you not to trade Tuesday. It's false move Tuesday. And so my mind's like, yeah, I'm not falling for that's this year. I'm not doing what I did last year. I'm not forcing a trade because I see something that I love. I'm telling myself that's a day that I don't like. You know what I mean? So whenever Monday is a bank holiday, TradFi is closed. Liquidity isn't the same. Let's get, you know what I mean? No one's going to import the same amount of liquidity in a day the banks are closed. They can't. It's not, the pipeline has been, it's literally like if they've blocked a portion of the highway, you can't take it. Like, so you can't drive down that lane. Liquidity can't flow. You know, if you block off the Panama Canal, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. If you block off basically a waterway, you can't get through it. So that's kind of what's happening there in the way, and that's why we call it liquidity. But they blocked off the waterway. And so when you think about it, you're like, okay. And so because of that, today is the first day the market's open, and it's kind of like now they got to test the waters, and then you also have like Trump and all this other stuff. So you can see how there's political unrest, geopolitical unrest, so to speak. And that's, I believe, that's definitely having an effect on the market. Bookmap is also suggesting this is a false rally, just to suck up people to try to long again, possibly. And it's claiming 89.5 and lower are going to be the weekly lows. So let's take a look at what's happening today. Nothing crazy for us, but tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, President Trump is to speak at 8:30 in the morning. And then that's, and then we have pending home sales and construction spending, which, I'd like to see that just for real estate. And then Thursday, we have unemployment claims at 8:30 in the morning and final GDP quarter over quarter. So we'd like to see that and see how that comes in. They have it forecast at 3.8. Previous was 3.8. They have forecast unemployment to be lower, to be higher actually than previously, which is interesting. It actually has been coming under every time. That would be the trend. So we'll see. But that has been the trend. And then Bank of Japan press conference too, which, all eyes on that. That might, just something Friday. But it does say, what is it? It is tentative though. So, and then I believe we had something at 8:30. No, Friday. Yeah, 8:30 core. Flash manufacturing PMI, which, I'd pay attention to, but it's not huge. But it's at 9:45, a precarious time on the market too. So the big thing we're looking at is unemployment claims and final GDP on Thursday at 8:30, and then Trump speaking tomorrow. Right. So that's kind of it. That's it at 8:30 in the morning. So expect some volatility in the markets. All right. Bitcoin attempting to hold 90,005 with kid gloves here. It's like, I don't know. It looks pretty weak to me. It looks like you lost trend again. That looks very similar to the daily. Right? Hey, Mimo, you got yourself $1? So that looks, doesn't look amazing to me. Could go lower. Looks like the bearish retest, right? That's why you don't long. So right now, the shorts are in control, as far as I'm concerned. I'm looking for the right shoulder here. Looks a lot like the daily. Like this was a small version of what the daily's doing. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It's like a macro. And I wonder if they signal each other through small time frame. I wonder if there's like Like they do something on the 1 minute at a certain time, and they're like, that's what we're going to do the daily tomorrow at this time. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they use the price action to teach each other what they're doing. They could signal through price. Couldn't? I mean, maybe I'm crazy, right? But I don't know. Does anyone know what I just said? It nuts, right? Absolutely insane. So could we get all the way down here to about, what, 89,002? That's what it says is likely. My target's 89.6 and lower. That's what's spot on here. Like you do a bearish retest here and you drop to the downside. You know? So, yeah, I see more downside here for Bitcoin. Had a chance to really get up there and start the possible model, but it got rejected. And it looks like we're headed back to 89.5 and possibly lower for BTC. However, there's volatility today, and I would be careful either direction. But that does look like we're going lower down to 89.5 and then possibly down here. Look, 88,800 is my next level that I'm looking for. And Bookmap also suggests the same there, about 89K for BTC. But we'll see. No guarantees, and it's not like, oh, we're going to dump for sure. These are just probabilities that I'm setting forth and looking at. I'm not 100%. I never claimed to be, and I never was. It would be awesome if I was. It would be so cool to be 100%. Like, just every time I trade, I'm up. And every time I open up a trade, I call the bottom or the top. That would be awesome. But that's not the case. You know what I mean? I am not a robot. Yeah. It would be cool if I was. It would be amazing. There's times where I've gone, like, weeks and weeks with, like, just without missing. I don't know how I've done that. But then you got to think, if I'm that accurate for weeks, there might be a week or two when I'm not, right? It's like, kind of makes me think, like, dang. If you have a long-term streak. But yeah. The models tend to play out in repetition. So once I'm hitting, right? But you know what I'm saying. So yeah, you're looking for this to right shoulder. Or spawn. You know, if it spawns, that's why if the 21 touches, we got ourselves a move. Will I trade it? Maybe not. I'll probably just watch it. Sam, when your model plays out, a price actually gets above the 200. You set a limit order or a market. When you're trying to get in, I usually just set a limit, right? You know, but a lot of times you're not going to get it. I usually set a limit, but then I usually drag into market. I usually set a limit, but then I usually drag my price action up. So it markets in, you know. But I trade on places with low fees like MEXC, right? So jump on into MEXC today or weeks, okay? And BTCC. And if you join my VIP groups and you're part of under my umbrella, you do get less fees. You get treated well. You get good customer service. You get taken care of. So you want to be under the lifer umbrella. You go your own, then you never know. And I can't help you. But if you go underneath my umbrella, I can always say, hey, what's going on here? What happened? We can, I can figure it out and help you out there. I'm just like you. I'm a trader out there, attempting to make it in the game. So I want to make sure that you're okay, comfy, and everything goes your way the best it can during your trading experience, right? Yeah, I mean, that looks like more downside, man. We'll see, but it doesn't look amazing to me. They're playing games, So yeah, bigger picture is that we're bearishly retesting this little joint, and we're coming further down to about 89.5. All right. How do we join your umbrella? You just use my links. That's why. So I know that you're one of the traders underneath me. That's all. Yeah. So, your user ID is inside the umbrella. That's all. Yeah. I use Weeks in MEXC. Yeah. Yeah, what if we're already a member of MEXC before knowing user? Anything we can do? Yeah, I think you can go into the referral area and you can type in my referral. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. Like you can add it. You can say, hey, it will go in somewhere and you can say, does anyone add you? You know what I mean? And you add the referral. Right? Like, so it would fill it in like this is it here, I believe. So you would add the 1TY1S, in your MEXC account, something like that. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you asking. You could also email, or you could, if you're in the group, you could talk to Jamie. And I'm sure if you give user ID, he can also tell them to switch it over, So look at that move further to the downside there for Bitcoin. I mean, that's exactly what was supposed to happen. We didn't break above the 200 moving average, right? We bearishly retested that we lost the trend line. Very similar what the daily's looking like right now, right? And look, you can see a shoulder ahead and a kind of like a weak right shoulder, but a bearish retest to me, as far as I'm concerned. And you can see how smaller time frames do show you technical analysis. You can learn. You got to be quicker. You got to be more attentive. They're not easy, and they can throw you for a loop. But for the most part, I mean, this is what's supposed to. We lost the 200 moving average. You're staying below it on multiple time frames. And see, sometimes you can't see it, but it'll make sense on the 1 minute. You could even see the targets. You can see the next target is 90,000, then 90,296, 250, and then 90,250, and then 90,092. And then the bigger target is all the way down. That's the length of this pole here. This is what I'm getting. See that? And that tells me we're headed down to about 89.6. And then you say, well, where will we stop? I mean, you can see wherever we kind of had this last bounce area. So am I predicting price action perfectly? Or is price action just simply, simple to read? To me, I think it's just simple to read. It has nothing to do with me. Anyone could do this. It's just telling you what's likely going to happen, and it's happening. That's all. You lose trend, you go below the 200. The 200 moving average will teach you so much because it will keep you on point and disciplined. All right? Yeah. Sam, don't miss CPE index on Friday. CPE too? He said CPE on Friday. I just see flash manufacturing. I don't see CPE. But I guess, am I wrong here? Let's see. No. I see retail sales, BOJ, all this stuff, but that's all, somewhere else. PCE price index. Yeah, I see what you're saying. PC October index, that's on Thursday. I think that's what you mean. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. All right. But it is October data. But yeah, that's why there's going to be a lot of volatility this week. All right. Can you explain the CME gap? Yeah, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to explain the CME gap one time and one time only. And we'll go from there. All right. I'll stop the music and I'll record it too, see if we can use it for something. Every time there's a CME gap, people bug out. I'll put myself in the middle, maybe they can grab it. Yeah. Every time there's a CME gap, people bug out. What is a CME gap? What's happening? What's going on in price action? Well, let's talk about it. You have the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and their future prices on Bitcoin, and you have Bitcoin, all right? And let's just say this is Sunday to Sunday, all right? So this would be Saturday and Sunday, these 2 days here. And this is Sunday, and the week starts. At 6 p.m. Sunday, they both are locked together. The future's open, and Bitcoin's already been going 24/7. And they go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Friday at 4 p.m., right? Or 6, it might be 6 p.m. I should know exactly, but the futures stop Friday at about, I believe it's 4 p.m., or I think it might be 6. But the futures cut off, and I'll ask Rock right now. But the futures get cut off. And then Bitcoin, if it makes a massive move on Saturday and then stays up here, and then when Sunday happens, the futures reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, normally, the charts were the same, right? The candle was here, the candle was here. But all of a sudden, Bitcoin's been doing this and jumped up. But on the CME, it opens right here. And there's literally a gap in the candles because the CME didn't pump during those 2 days. So the CME likes to come and fill this gap and bring the price action down. All right. Now I'll show you what a CME gap looks like in real life so you can just see what I'm talking about here. Okay. This is going to be the clearest, best explanation you've ever seen for the CME gap, right? So here, let's go to the daily. Let's get rid of everything here and let's talk about it. So on a weekend, let's say price pumped for Bitcoin. Like, here's a good one. There's a gap right there. So, like, one day, Bitcoin somehow pumped, right? Look, there's a Friday. There's, anyway. And there's an opening right there. And Bitcoin did come and close that opening. It took a while, but it eventually did come and close it. That was made on April 23rd of 2025. And we closed it just this November, you see? And they say every gap gets filled, right? And so here's another gap right there. You can just see it's a space between candle bodies because the price action wasn't open at the time. The only thing is there's sometimes gaps on the bigger and smaller time frames. Like there's a kind of a gap there, but you see it got filled by the wick there, but there was a gap there. It got filled pretty fast. There's a decent gap there that got filled here. And they say all gaps do get filled over time. All right. So that's the CME gap. So you can understand that. Okay. I hope we made everybody aware of that and you can understand what's happening. So now look, I mean, you'd be ready for your next bear flag. Right? And this is where I zoom out too when I start saying, okay, have I drank the Kool-Aid? Because once you're on the small time frames too long, it's like being in Alice in Wonderland. Like you're kind of on the other side. And you may want to zoom out for a second, right? You may want to zoom out for a second and say, hey, what is going on, right? So what I do is we back to, you kind of, look, you faked out of a ascending triangle. You did a bull trap and now you're dumping. The measured move is the base of the triangle here to the downside. It's just the facts. I'm not, and there's a chance you possibly, you're trying to stop here at these. You can see that's like an area of confluence. And again, I'm still saying, hey, well, maybe it'll take a few more days to make a right shoulder first. Now you're like, okay, there's really no reason to go for a monster long unless you break above 96.8 and bounce. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you could trade 96.8 up to like 111. You see what I'm saying? Or at least to the 200 moving average at this resistance here at 105 or, anywhere between 101 and 105. But there's movement there. There's 14 grand in movement. $5,000 in movement, $6,000 in movement. Again, yeah, you don't get to have to call the absolute, you buy right here and have to go long. See, that's another thing. Another reason people are losing money. They feel like they have to go long at key areas, at risky areas, instead of waiting to bounce and retest the strongest, less risky area. Doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, but I think that's such a better idea and a low risk, and it does play out. I've seen it. It's not like, oh, in a perfect world. No, you'll see it over time. And if you plan for it, you're going to get better at nailing it. But if you never plan for it, then how are you going to get good at anything? Like everything is just a push button. You can't just be pushing buttons. There's got to be a plan behind every single thing you do. If not, it's just not going to, the odds are you're not going to make it. I'm sorry to be rude to people, but this is the facts. Okay? These are the facts. There's a chance the daily wants to bounce here by all means, but now you clearly broke the trend line. Nasty dump today for Bitcoin. And some say, why would you short now? I mean, look, there's only been 5 green candles, red candles. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles. That was a perfect short. There was more pain there, man. Don't get, I just play the charts of the moving averages. You'd like to think it's that simple, but it isn't. Like that could just be the beginnings, right? Of a move to 71K here. So yeah, I'm definitely more bearish than bullish today. We're below the 3-day 200 moving average. We're breaking down. We lost a trend line that was holding us down we started this trend in December 19th. That's a 1-month trend. We just completely denied it today. Now, either it's a bull trap and we get back inside, so be it. It's like, again, like I'm not doing an epic hero long right now. And wait, oh my gosh, no, I think that's a foolish move. I think the smart move is to play the trend. You break this, you're breaking the lower low. Like you close down here somewhere today. That's Bear City, man. Bear City. Look, the 4-hour just lost the 200 moving average. That's another bearish sign for me. Again, I still see how we could be making this like inverted, like it's getting, but it's very bearish. You attempted another form of bull div here. Like it's like secondary bull div. It's so weird. But look, that's double bull div. I mean, the fact that you just negated that bullish divergence on the local time frame, like couldn't get back above 91,354. And that's why I told everyone too, like I'm not buying. Remember, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the time to buy all coin." I was just like, unless you're willing to hold something for 4 years, like if it's going to be Solana or something like that, unless you're willing to hold for a long period of time, I got to be honest, like it doesn't look amazing. So unless you're willing to short the market here, take some money on these short-term gains, like if anything, this looks like it's going to dump further due. Yikes. And again, I gave, this is how you say, okay, maybe. That wasn't going to happen. That was a rollover. Small time frame said no way. I'll be honest, look, see how these look, that's cat ears right there. That's another descending triangle. You see it? 5-minute looks like it wants to continue to collapse here, further to the downside. Looks like a slow bleed is coming for Bitcoin. And yeah, he keeps raising tariffs on the EU. He forces them to buy gold. They're more structured, kind of like Dems, and Dems are, not to be rude, we're more likely to buy, not to buy Bitcoin. This is just how it is. I'm sorry, I don't know why. It's just how it is. So they're less likely to buy more Bitcoin and buy more gold. So they create that frenzy for gold. You see what I mean? So you see how the Denmark tariff, the Greenland tariff, or you could call it the Denmark tariffs. It sounds better. Don't have to say the word. But the Denmark tariffs actually affect BTC because they affect the flight to gold, right? Let's talk about the winner chicken dinner here, the trade that's making everybody happy. The only trade in the group that I got cooking that I really like, that I've been kind of, and that's why I trade less, make more, I like to see Bitcoin holding 90,000, but barely, man. It looks like it's about to absolutely dump again. What I see now is sideways price action, And even look, this is a bear flag that we were looking at, and that made it's going about to hit the target. And again, just touching the 21 below the 200, stop loss above the resistance, and shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you're going down. Just listen to my strategies and keep doing them, And the silver trade up 17%. Silver just continues to do damage. We're going to take a look at silver. So look what I see here is like a slanted head and shoulder. You see, it's like shoulder. You see that? Measured move to the downside. Not easy to see, but it's just like, Bitcoin about to lose 90K again, and this time, dang, So, let's take a look at silver. Yeah, they've been trusted for such a long time. So look, we talked about the silver entry there at 78. That's still going to the target up to $100, right? And then the smaller idea here, was this is going to flag out and continue to pump. So anyway, I do this every single week on Friday. I give you your macro technical analysis for silver, right? And so this was the initial silver call recently right there at about 88, 86 off the lower trend line. And I see silver continuing, right? And now you got this beautiful move here where it retested previous resistance as support. And it does look like it has to consolidate a bit, but that's fine. It just going to have to kind of get its ground. It could make a right shoulder there. The one thing is, once silver does hit a pretty good high and people decide that it's like, eventually we either go into the massive world war or it calms down. It's likely to calm down because people all want to run the economy. Nobody can handle a world war without their economy being severely bashed, and everyone needs to survive. It's an economic war, really. We kind of fight economically now. My point is, everyone needs their economies to run to survive, and we're all connected in some way, shape, or form. And so there's going to be a time where everyone realizes that they don't have to flock into silver and gold so fast. They're going to calm down. They're going to want to invest in actual companies and ideas and AI. And that money's going to trickle out. And I believe Bitcoin will be able to become the, a beneficiary of a lot of that money. Because it's already risk on. It's already kind of money outside of the general idea, right? It's like risk on. It's like, oh, I'm going to hold this in case. And now Bitcoin has a scarcer asset. So yeah, I see silver going sideways and continuing to the upside. Same thing I see with gold and that massive move out of this rising wedge, right? But remember, we're starting to get very extended. At the end of this rally for gold, it's going to be extremely extended. It's going to be, but the daily still, the reason why this rally is continuing, see how the 21 is moving with price action? You're not making these big gaps for the 21. You're cooking. You are cooking. Even look at the weekly. The weekly isn't that far. So, but again, that's going to be, once something goes straight up, once it hits 56, 57, something here, March of 2020, I mean, that there's going to be a move back down. To me, it says something. So it tells me, you can kind of tell me, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. It's telling me, and I'll extend it a little more sideways because it looks like But it's telling me somewhere by March or April of this year, whatever conflicts we're in, whatever's happening are going to be resolved. And we're going to start to cool off. You see what I mean? Show me the charts and I'll show you the news. This is telling us when things are going to start to cool down a bit. We're going to get a regeneration of, So I believe there is a moment of peace to be had. We can look to the future, and there's some good news, right? Like everyone else has bad news. You tune into everywhere else, it's bad news. I got good news for you, okay? Because gold can't keep going up forever, baby. And again, if we go into more turmoil, fine, then gold will go sideways again before its next pump. But it ain't going to, me, somewhere around that 5,700, 57 species of aliens, 57 Heinz ketchup. What did I just say? What? No, what? Huh? No, seriously, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Zeta Reticuli, right? The Greys, the Reptilians, it's all there. The Pleiadians, What? What do you say? No. Alex Collier. No, what? No. No. Adelaide Scalene. Coral Castle. My sweet Agnes. My sweet 16. So, no, I'm just firing off keywords at you that will just, what? What the? Huh? So we're looking for gold to kind of continue further to the upside too as well. Let's take a look at U.S. oil. I like to see what oil's doing. That's oil India. Actually that looks like oil's bullish and going to explode. Oil futures. I don't know why that's so new, but it to me, wow. I mean, they're consolidating and getting ready for a bigger move. Tell me the price of oil may be going up a little bit. I want to see a barrel go up by dang. So anyway, Bitcoin getting a bounce, but not amazing. 90,188 for BTC. Let's look where we are on that small time frame on that 1 minute and that 5. Yeah, it's shrimping around now, but it's ugly. It is ugly. So, I'm always looking at the bigger time frames. Just kind of zooming out to see what Bitcoin's doing. Just hanging out. So let's see here, That weekly looks so whack. Like, that's a bear flag. No, I mean, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. It's a bear flag for the weekly. That says we're going lower. And you know what's good about trading flags is so what? So maybe they bounce it back up. You get stopped out. You don't have to risk a lot. It's not like, it's not like you have to, you know what I mean? The thing about that I started thinking about lev trading is to me, it should only be an add-on. It should be butter to the bread. It should never be the bread. I think too many people are making it the bread. And as much as I'd love to make it the bread, and there's a very few traders who are going to turn themselves into multi-millionaires. And I'm saying I believe it could be you. You might be better than me. But something bad happened to me, or good, is I made too much money in a long period of time doing spot trades. I got lucky. It took me 12 years, 15 years of being in spot. I didn't even know about leverage. It wasn't prevalent. They weren't pushing it online. It wasn't all over the internet like it is now. When I started, there was just, a few stock guys, and trading education was scarce. It wasn't the same 15, 20 years ago. It wasn't even close. There was audiobooks and stuff. It was completely different. I think Timothy Sykes was one of the first big people you would see. Like, that guy, like, on this, started making a campaign run and, like, started using media. And so I'll be honest, man, this looks bearish as heck to me. You'd say, okay, how long if next week we close a green candle next to a red one, and I'd even front run it if we start to make a tweezer bottom. So, I'm open-minded, trust me, and I still see hidden bullish on the monthly, but dang, man. Like, this is like, someone can say, okay, that's the trend line, don't be so harsh. I don't know, man. I feel like we changed it. Once we made that low, to me, that was your trend, and you lost the sauce. And here I do got to include some wicks, and this is what happened. They faked the breakout of the ascending triangle, and you are now in free fall, at least down to support at 84.9. I mean, how not? I mean, what's going to stop? I guess you got some chunkiness at 88K. And somehow we're being held at 90,000. Right? He says they did lev in the 1920s. I'm not saying they didn't. You know, they've been doing it forever, but it wasn't as prevalent. It was people that knew about trading, were heavy into trading, you know. And again, I didn't know. And again, yes, maybe I didn't know that much about trading. I didn't have a family or a friend. I found it all through my own slowly through my own research online. Right? It was a process. Look at the 12-hour, just completely throwing up on us, like insane. The 4 hours going to close a candle below the 200 moving average in 3 hours and 6 minutes. That's a bearish confirmation of a move to the downside for me. Last time the 4 hour did that was somewhere here. Like right around here, and that began, you know, right there was the last time we closed the 4 hour candle below the 200, and that was like, then we came up a little bit. And this was our last little love, you know, little honeymoon above the 200 there, but dang. And so there, I mean, we closed the tweezer bottom there. People would have long that, and they actually even went back at it. See? So even my, like, you know, again, it's not strong enough. Look, descending triangles all over the place. Look at the head and shoulder pattern here. You can see it. It's hidden, but it's there. Let me make it perfect, actually, because you'd be like, no, but it's there. And there's the neckline. I see this thing going lower. I see it's, you know, so I see more downside for BTC. Just like some days I'm calling the long, and I see more upside for Bitcoin, right? I see more downside for Bitcoin. It looks like we're going lower. Shorts are in control. Congratulations to anyone that stayed in the short, made a short, and kept it moving. May God bless you. Keep doing your thing, you know? Or if you're just learning the market, keep doing your thing. Or if you saw some insight today, keep doing your thing. Or if you learned a lesson or two, keep doing your thing. Every day's a day to learn. All right? So keep going, baby. Keep going. Yeah. 87K resistance won't break. We chilling. This trend is your friend till the end, baby. 45K this year, then bull. Oof. Yeah. Bitcoin about to lose 90,000 support. We are living through a taco trade at the moment. As soon as it's over, the markets will flip bullish. Sam, you did a great job filling the time when price action is slow. I'm going to start making videos at Stream It in May and learning so much from you on this side as well. Amen. Yeah. I mean, I'm unique to me. Please don't do what I do exactly. People try to replicate by me and they don't get the same results. So just do your own thing. Completely different than me, please. You know what I mean? But God bless you. You know what I mean? But just remember, like, your results may not be the same, and you'd be like, how and why? It just, I don't know why. You know what I mean? I will tell you, I streamed for like 3 to 4 years completely for free for a long time. 2 or 3 people watch me. It is a vicious game to stream. It's going to be, I advise this of everyone. If you're going to stream or start a stream and this is what you want to do, I would have some type of savings, and I would live below my means if I didn't have a lot of money, because it's going to be a very long struggle, and you should be so in love with it that you're willing to do it for free for a long period of time. The only reason I made any money doing what I do as a, you know, an influencer person, I don't even know what you want to, you know, as an online educator throughout the world, is because I did it for free for a long period of time. I never thought there was even any money towards it. I just was so sick of doing things with other people that kept falling apart. I finally said I want to do something for me, completely for me, and push myself. But God bless you, man. Keep pushing, because, hey, I don't know how long I'll be here, and you never know, right? So I got stopped out at my predefined level for a small loss. Win in my book. I always like that. To me, that's a great thing. I took a shot at the market. I didn't have to lose to find out what really could have happened. To me, that's always a blessing. It means I got to get in the battle. I got to spar a little bit, but I didn't lose an eye or get black. You know what I mean? I didn't get popped in the face. Yeah. Exactly. Sam, possible cup and handle in the 6 hour failing. Yeah. I don't want to do it for money or anything like that. I'm going to do it as a trading journal. I have a lot of people who meet once a week to go over trading so they can view. Amen. Yeah. Solana prices are too low. Time to buy. Amen. Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea, Taylor. God bless you, man. I see Pepe going to rip soon. Looking good on the weekly and the 3-month. Nice cup and handle form. I think liquidity will flow from Pepe to the other alts. I could be wrong, but buying the dips. I would not be buying any altcoin dips right now until Bitcoin shows me signs of some type of reversal here. Right now, it looks like it's going to flow further into a descending triangle and go lower and just kind of roll over down to 88,500. I could be terribly wrong, but that's what I see happening. And I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I am not a financial advisor. I don't think I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. Okay? I'm just a guy that does this every day to see where life could take me. That's it. I just believe that God will have my back. That's really it. I'm out here. My mom and dad are God. I'm the father of my family. I love my 2 sisters. And that's my life, man. I don't have an uncle. Actually, I have an uncle. He's really old. Should call my dad's brother. He's like, I think he's 82 now. The masses would take the power away for the bigger players. It would do nothing but go up. 99 to 98,000 with the 5 days. You're funny. Who said 98 to 89? Oh, yeah, he said, yeah. Please tell me, will Bitcoin go up in the next 5 to 6 hours? Well, you trading binary options? In the next 5 hours, Bitcoin's likely to be lower than it is at 88,560, but there's no guarantees. We think we'll get full range low down to 8280K before potential bounce. I don't know. To me, I'm going to tell you right now, as a technical analyst, what just happened here, we had a chance. We fought 94K. We broke back above it. We used it. We needed to use it as support and bounce. What's really strange to me is we had made it through the high volume node after chunkiness. We got into the value area gap here, which 9 out of 10 times sends you back up to the point of control. I'm very confused right now that we didn't close this gap back up to 100 and 1100, or at least here to 106. I'm confused. I don't understand. And it just means there wasn't enough liquidity. Something happened. It's weird to me. It's very rare that when you spend this time getting through this, it's very rare when you fall down, spend this much time in the chunk, and then when you make it this far above resistance for days too, that you don't carry over to the next high volume node, at least to 105. Very rare. So maybe what I just said will come to fruition, and everyone will say, "Oh, he did say that," and then this ends up being a massive double bottom of some type, and we do make it back up. You never know. Bitcoin has been insanely confusing for almost every trader. That's why it's been, one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time here. Look, back to this idea. Remember we started with that cup and handle? Look, there's the cup, there's the handle. So crazy, right? I mean, remember, that is an ascending triangle. They are 50-50. They're not guaranteed up patterns. 50%, 50-50 patterns over here. Bit of a double bottom, see? Wow, I mean, and you could stay on Bitcoin the whole entire show today. It was just insane. I thought it was 1102. It was 1202. Even silver losing some steam right now. So it's a shorter's market right now. Yeah, and it's to me, geopolitical unrest. A lot of, I see more dunce. I see Bitcoin dumping, man. That's what I see. I could be wrong. I'll be back in about a half an hour to an hour to kind of recap what happened today in the trading group and to kind of update you guys on what I see happening. But I see more downside, and we lost some really key levels today. Not good. Not good in the technical side for Bitcoin at all. If you're a bull, personally. Yeah. Yeah, the last 2 days were very, 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 very bad. Like they for the bulls, they weren't good. No. They spell a possible, bigger move down. If we can't get back inside. So here's the deal. What's really simple about trading right now is all you have to do is look at the daily, okay? And look at that trend line. If you can't get back inside that trend line, you're cooked. It's that simple. It's completely that simple. Go look at your daily time frame, delete everything. And to me, I mean, that's a bear flag. Like, how is that not a bear flag? You're on the 21 below the 200. That's my signal, right? It's a bear flag, man. Maybe you make the right shoulder first. To me, that is a bear flag. Is it so obvious? They wreck everything. See, they've done so many shady moves now that it's like people are, you know, and that's what happens. People don't trust their TA anymore, and then they can't trade at all. So that's why you just got to stick to the same stuff. Like, my 200 is still working. Like, we lost the 200 in the 15-minute. We don't. Like, my strategies are still working. This is what happens. They make you basically outthink your own strategies too. Then you get real lost. And they're doing this to a lot of traders right now. They almost did it to me. Like, they're doing the best they can to get people off of their own thought process. Like, they're just like, this has been, I'm telling you, they tested my will. I talked about it earlier today more than any other cycle in my life. From altcoins to Bitcoin to you name it. This has not been the cycle to waltz right through. This has been a tight price action. So to me, once the daily hits this, I mean, there's just more downside, a lot more going down. I mean, to me, nothing wrong with opening up a short right now on the daily. You'd say it's a little late, multiple, like someone said, you know. But that's the thing. I mean, you've lost a trend. So, like, stop me out. You have to get back inside the trend line. You know, you can even go out here. I believe you can be outside the pattern and still be a 3-to-1. Yeah, right there. So, to me, this looks like the most likely scenario. And if you want to wait for confirmation, you know, you could try, you know, you draw out again. Maybe there's an inverted head. This is back to the same story we started today, right? And maybe we can bounce back off this bull div. But it doesn't look amazing. If anything, that looks like the story that will get you, that can connect you further down. So I got to be more bearish. So my thing is the daily has to close a candle back above 94,000 now. Same, you know what I mean? So we're back to the same thing we were saying in November 8th for 2 months now. It's, you know, so there you go. That's it. That's BTC. Money to be made the short side today for the day traders. Right? Shorts were in command. And we'll look to see if there's, you know, we still could get the model. Anything could happen. I'll be open-minded. Some days I've seen the nastiest dumps. I've still made the biggest gains on a long. I got to stay open-minded to tell myself I have no idea how this day is going to end, but God's going to be there. And I'm going to say, you know, dear Lord, thank you for everything. Everyone, if you have an anxiety, you're stressing your trades, you're stretching your portfolio, you're stressing life. You're thinking about the past 2 months too much. You're thinking about the future. You got to stay in the present. What can you do right now? Maybe you can meditate. Maybe you can say, I'm grateful for everything in my life. Are you healthy? You know how many people are going into surgery tonight or tomorrow and don't know what the outcome will be? That's not me, right? So if money is the biggest thing you're stressed about, you're doing pretty good. Because people are stressing their health. And when you stress your health, you can't even spend money. You can't even use money when you're sick. You can't do anything. If your loved ones are hurt, if your mom was in the hospital right now, I hope she's not. But, you know, if someone you loved was sick or hurting, you wouldn't really be caring about, you know, the day my mom passed away, you think I was looking at my Bitcoin portfolio? I think I did at the beginning of the day, but you know what I'm saying? That wasn't the number one thing that I was paying attention to. So everybody, I love you. Stay amazing. Stay on point. Keep pushing. And I'll be back tomorrow with another absolutely amazing live stream. We did pretty good. We were able to see the market pretty well today. And I still see how we could possibly bounce back here on this 1 hour time frame. You know, the 4 hour, you're looking for tweezer bottoms on the 4 hour. If you can't get it, you're not reversing. Every reversal happen when you got a green candle next to a red one. You see this? That's it. That's I know it's so simple, but that's just the facts. And now you're cradling on the 4 hour 200 moving average, attempting to hold it. Anything is possible, folks. Be careful. One step at a time. And let's get through Tuesday. Tonight, the dust will settle. We'll get through what happened with the lower liquidity. And then tomorrow will be our first real day when like liquidity's been pumping for 24 hours. So tomorrow is going to be like Tuesday for the first, you know what I mean? That's why trading heavy is sketchy the day after a bank holiday. It's always sketchy. So if you got wrecked today, it happens to almost everybody that trades a day after a bank holiday without a plan. So you were one of everyone. Take a deep breath. It used to happen to me. That's why I didn't do it today. I just kind of watched the market. Sometimes it's nice to be on the sidelines, especially when you're live streaming. Everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the absolute best right thing. I love you. I thank you so much. Let me just take a look at the super chats, make sure nothing else came in. And no, it's the same since before, nothing new. Excellent. Excellent. And shout out to everybody here on the live. We appreciate you. We thank you so much. And really nice to see you guys here every single day. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be in the group throughout the day. Stay fresh, stay amazing, believe in yourself. Remember, speak positively to yourself. Okay? You can, you will, you are the best. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. You got to start somewhere. Start with positive attitude. Start with pushing yourself. Start with believing in yourself. You've got this. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you to every single person that shows up. These are some of the toughest times, and you guys are still here. Over 1,200 people here on the stream. I am very blessed. Thank you, dear Lord, for this amazing stream in this moment in time. Thank you for being here in front of everyone. Thank you for the Google algo. Thank you for YouTube. Thank you for all these opportunities, the cameras people make, the lighting. Thank you for my team. Thank you for Sean. Thank you for Zeno. Thank you for Lakochi. Thank you for my wife, the editor. Thank you for Zeph, the whole team, and everybody that believes in what I'm doing. I'm so blessed to have anybody believe in anything I've done. Thank you. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm so grateful. And I'll always be so grateful for these moments. Thank you, dear Lord, for everything you've given me. Let me always find gratitude and not lose sight of how blessed I am every single day. Amen. And all of us, man, we're all blessed. I love you guys. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I'll never have I could never really truly show you the appreciation that I have. But thank you so much.